Hello and welcome back. This is part 2 of making different types of envelopes for junk journals, happy mail, etc., etc. On this particular envelope, I'm starting with a 6x6 square. You can use any size you want to, but we're going to do 6x6 for now. And I'm going to fold over one side, and it's going to be, let me see where I want it to be. I'm not going to go 2 inches. I'm going to go about an inch. Well, I'm being too picky. It doesn't have to be. That's about 1.5 inches. All right. And then I want to fold this side over. And really here, it doesn't matter. If you want your envelope wider, if you want it skinnier, it's just really, that's totally up to you. So I'm just going to go about right there, just as long as I've got an overlapping part to glue down. So this envelope is going to be like a coin envelope. So this is going to be the front of our envelope. We're going to turn this into a flap. All right, so I just made a score mark here about 1.5 inches down, and this part's going to be our flap that comes over. All right, and since this is one-sided paper, I'm going to go ahead and glue this together to make my flap so that it doesn't have a white flap like that. Okay, so what I have done is I just went in there and I cut from here to here and here to here. I just kind of cut that up just a little bit. All right, now I'm going to glue these two pieces down. Glue that to there and glue this down to there. All right, and then I'm going to get my corner rounder, and we're going to round, let that dry just a little, around the corners. So I'm going to round this one and this one. See, now we got a little flap. I did go and cut just a sliver off of that top part. See that little sliver? But see how the bottom part's bending up too. So I'm going to go and cut just a little sliver off of this part too, so that it won't be in our way. And then I'm probably going to go ahead and put a little thumb notch in there too. We'll see. See how that works. All right. See, now it'll close nicely. Okay, good deal, good deal. This is just a little bit crooked right here, and I'm not liking it. That's better. Okay. So, all right. So what I want to do is I can cut a divot in here, which is not real easy to do with it like this, but I'm going to try. I wanted to do it before I glued it together, and I have a reason. So I'm just going to slide this punch up in there. I'm going to guess at it. And it's the dull punch again. All right, so I managed to get it out, but I don't like it. I'm not happy with that. So I'm just going to make my own little thingy-jiggy here. If you don't have a paper punch, a round paper punch, and you just want just a little thumb notch kind of place, much better. All right, good. That's what we'll do. We'll do it that way. All right, so down here at the bottom, you can fold the whole thing up if you want to and put a strip of glue there, or you can just put a strip of glue in between these layers and not even fold that bottom up, or you can fold the bottom up and cut the two front pieces off, which is what I'm going to do, at just a slight angle, just a little bit of an angle, so that everything will close up nicely and we won't have any bulky places there in that seam. So see, instead of cutting right on the line, I'm going just a little, just a very slight angle, so that everything will close up nicely. See? Very, very nice. Okay, so now, and I still don't want to glue it together yet, and I'll tell you why. I want to make a pretty closure for that. So for this, I've pulled out 3 round punches. I've got 1 inch, 3/4 inch, and a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to start with a piece of cardstock, which is dark brown. Okay, there's the 1 inch. That's the biggie. Then I'm going to take a piece of, I want something a little bit different for the decorative part. I'll take this one right here. So this is a 3/4, and there's that one. And then I'm going to take another brown in the 1/2. All right. So I'm going to glue these 3 together. Okay, so I went ahead and glued them together. I've got 2 of them. They look like eyeballs looking at me. All right, now we're going to take our little eyelets again. And let's see, I think I'm going to go with the same color because I want it to show up. And again, here you could use a brad if you wanted to. Doesn't have to be an eyelet. You could even glue them if you want. And I'm going to put that, and this is the flap. This is the envelope flap top. I'm going to put that right in the middle and get my punch back. And I want the small 1/8 inch punch. So I'm going to punch that in the middle. We're going to put one of these guys in there. And then we are going to, I love using metal embellishments in my journal stuff. I just love it. I don't know why. I just think it's so cool. All right. Notice I still have not glued that down yet. I'm just making sure. I've done it wrong so many times. I want to make sure I do it right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and punch this in the middle so that I can see it. Put it down where I need it to go. And it doesn't need to be right on top of that seam. It seams over here, so that's good. And I'm going to make me a mark. That'll just be a little bit easier to deal with. And then I can see that mark right there. Okay, so this is going to line up right here. Now you can see why I had not glued it together. This would be quite difficult if this one had already been glued together. Hello, get your booty back in there. Get back in there. There we go. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and close that little brad eyelet. Now we can glue it together. All right, so we're going to glue these pieces, these right here, together. And we're going to glue you together. And any glue will work. I'm using my trusty old art glitter glue. I have not found a glue I like better because it's very thin and it comes through these needlepoint applicators very easily. Now all we got to do is get our string. And before that, I don't like that little white there. To me, that's just too white. So I'm just going to ink that just a little bit and kind of get rid of that white shining. And I could put another piece of paper in there if I wanted to. That'd be fun. I usually use some sort of embroidery floss just because I like the way it's easy to work with. It works very well. Figure a color that I think would complement nicely. Okay, that one I think will do it. Now I usually tie mine into the top and swing it around the bottom, but there's no rules. You can do it completely opposite if you want to. And then on this part, you can go around as many times as you want to. Again, there's no rules, guys. So 1, 2, 3 is nice, I think. And we're going to go around this one. Or you could figure eight it if you wanted to. You know how to do that. So I'm going to do it this way, and then I'm going to add a little dangle here at the bottom. Okay, so I made me 2 more little dots. The brown is cardstock, and the other is that same paper that I used there. And I'm just going to take an end of this string and one of the little dots, and I'm going to put that string in there. Oh, come on, you. Don't make a mess. Don't make a mess. All right. I am a mess maker, that's for sure. When you're working with glue, all this gooky stuff. All right, so I'm going to glue. So I just glued the string in between my 2 round circles. And it is, I got glue all over me, so now everything's sticking. So it's just a little something to pull. You know, just a little something to grab hold of. And you know what? I think I might even put a one of those pearl dots in the middle. Okay, so I just put a little pearl dot in the middle on both sides, and of course that glue will dry clear, so I won't worry about that it's going to show. So that one's finished. Okay, this one will be fun. This measures 1, 2, 3, 4.5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it doesn't matter as long as you are taller than you are wide. All right, now I'm going to find the middle at the top by making a little pinch there, and I'm going to fold like you're going to make a paper airplane. Fold this to a point. All right, good deal, good deal. And then this part, let's see how far do I want to go. I don't want to go real far. I'm going to fold this one up, and I'm going to fold this one down about, I tell you what I'm going to do. It's going to be a little different than what I had something else in mind, but let's do this one. So we fold this one down here, and I'm just going to go ahead and crease that real good. All right, and see how the end of my flap overlapped? We're going to fold that up around the back, and I'm going to crease it real good. And that's just another idea, another way of keeping an envelope closed. See, it's not a permanent closure. All you got to do is that. And this can be a little flip down, but it's just a cute way of keeping it closed. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these little flaps down like so. There we go. All right, so you got a little faux envelope. Looks like an envelope. That glue's not dry under there, so it's not wanting to stay closed, but there we go. All right, so then you can just open it up, and you've got journaling spaces. You could add a pocket or whatever. All right, let's do another. So what I did here, so I got a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I just cut it in half. So now it's a 6 by 12. I folded my corners in to make my little faux paper airplane-ish, and I'm going to fold this down about that far. So let's see how far that is. Maybe a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and glue these flaps down like we did on the last one. But this one's going to close differently. All right, so if this guy comes here, I want this guy to end up all the way up there. All right, so what I want to do is figure out about where, see where my point is. I don't want to go all the way to the point, but I want to go pretty close to that point. So I'm going to go about right there. So you can see how close I am to the little edge there. All right, now this part is overlapping the top. So I have two options. I can just trim it off, or I can fold it down. If you fold it down, you don't want to go any further than that right there, because you don't want that to show. All right, so if I fold it down, I could go about, what's that, 3/4 inch, I would say. See, and see, I didn't go further enough for that to show. I didn't want that white to show, so that's good. That works. So you can leave that as a little extra stability right there if you want to. You can also go ahead and glue these down if you didn't trim them off. Go ahead and glue these little flips down, and then you've got a little side tuck pocket space there too. But what I want to do for this little booklet, I used to make these, gosh, it's been a couple of years ago, or more than a couple, I'm sure. It's been a while. And, oh, they were so cute and so popular. I had so much fun with them. All right, so in here, I'm going to add some little tags into my pocket. But right here, I'm going to add some paper, like a little notepad. Okay, so let me show you what I've done. I just had some leftover little scraps of this paper I've been playing with, and I just kind of stuck it there in the pocket. And then for my paper pad, I just put a bunch of different papers and fabric and just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That one I even had some stamping on the back that I've done. Just some different scraps of paper. All right, and so I'm going to attach that right here, and this can be used, you know, the recipient can tear these off. I just attached them with brads at the top, so you can tear them off. You can take the brads out and take them all apart if you wanted to. But what I think I'm going to do, I'm just going to attach it in here with some washi tape. That way, if the person wants to, they can take the whole thing out. Okay, so I just put a piece of washi tape there. I didn't glue it in or anything. I just put it there like that. So here we go. Here's all these things. Here's this little pocket here, which actually this pocket's a little shallow. Needs something a little bit thicker. I may have to put something thicker up in there so they don't keep falling out. Okay, so now for the closure. So I've just taken a strip from my dark brown cardstock, and I cut me a strip, and I'm deciding where to put it, because I want this to tuck under, but I want it to tuck under easily. I don't want it, I want it to hold, but I don't want it to be hard to get it under there. So I'm going to just guess about right there. And I'm going to put the glue on the end and up a little bit too. I put the glue up to about, say, here, because here's my flap way over here, just to make that a little bit tighter so that when I close it, it'll have a good, I won't have to worry about it coming out. And then on top of this strip, you could put another decorative paper, but I'm going to do a lace. There we go. So I've just put some lace across the bottom. That just jazzed it up. And see how easily it closes? Go right up under that little thing. Open it up. There's all your other goodies. These are still falling out. Tuck that under there. Now, if I wanted to, I can decorate here, and I can decorate here. I think a cluster would look nice there. Okay, so I decided I do want to cover this flap here. So I just took another piece of paper and I cut it about 5 3/4 where this other one was 6. And I'm just gonna line that up, and I think I'm gonna clip it there because I want to flip it. Clip and flip. I want to flip it over. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, to here. Then I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to draw, and I'll know exactly where to cut. All right, so I'm going to cut this out just inside that line. Okay, I like that a lot better. To me, that just looks a lot neater. And I chose this paper with a little bit of a rust and burgundy to kind of match some of the things that I had in here. All right, so that tucks in. And for the front, I dug through my stash of clusters, and I decided that one is going to look really nice. So there we go. It's all finished. We could keep embellishing it with crystals and pearls and stuff if we wanted to. You could add a pocket onto the back with some of your scraps if you want to, like a little corner pocket would be cute too. You could do a belly band. But anyway, there it is. And yeah, use something thicker here so those don't keep falling out. Okay, there we go. All right, guys, this is the end of part 2. I hope I've inspired you to go out and create something pretty today. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.